When people think of LEGO Harry Potter video games, they usually remember the 2010-2011 action-adventure titles from Traveler's Tales. But those are actually not the first LEGO Harry Potter games released. That honor goes to LEGO creator Harry Potter, a game from 2001 that was also part of the Sandbox LEGO Creator series. I should note from the get-go, making this game launch on modern PCs is a pain because it uses the now deprecated Microsoft Agent service. Even when following all guides I could find, the game wouldn't launch at all on Windows 10 until at one point it randomly did. I don't know why. So before making the decision to try and find the game, make sure to watch this video first so you'd see if it is worth it. My name is Stanislav Costiuc, I am a game designer, and this is my review of LEGO creator Harry Potter, which as always will be done with the help of my Stasocritic scoring system. We start with design. This is the most important part of Stasocritic with the biggest weight, 4. The way a game is designed is what affects your experience the most, so that's why it takes up the biggest part of the score. Conceptually, I can get behind everything LEGO creator Harry Potter is about, a digital recreation of the LEGO experience. And what is the LEGO experience anyway? Well, we can divide it into 3 layers, living through various fantasies by allowing you to build different sets that you can then play with however you'd like. Meaning that all these layers live within the context of your creativity. Let's see how this version of LEGO Creator tackles each part. So when it comes to fantasy, the game gives you several different sandboxes from the world of Harry Potter: Diagon Alley, King's Cross, Hogwarts Grounds, and Hogwarts Interior. And outside of some default objects surrounding the area, everything is up to you to build and decorate. There are also some sub-regions like Hagrid's Hut or Snape's Potion class. You can get access to those by placing special pre-made models that act as entrances. Now, this looks like it can provide a wide potential to live up all your creative LEGO Harry Potter desires. But that is true only up to a certain point. You see, unless the object is something that you've created yourself, the game limits what you can place in each region to that specific area. You can't put cauldrons from Snape's Potion class in Hogwarts. You can't put a wall from Hogwarts Grounds inside a Diagon Alley. That might have been fine if there was a bigger variety of pre-built models for you to use, but there isn't. I wanted to try and build a shop in Diagon Alley, and then I realized that every wall that it's got is essentially a shop entrance. The only solid wall I could find was a red brick one that didn't fit into the style at all and had no windows. Okay then, the game has a special mode where you can build your own model. Surely I can make a wall there? Yes, but then I found out that there are no window pieces that look like the windows in the pre-built model. So even if I would build one, there is no way to keep it consistent. And the process of building is very cumbersome. I honestly am not sure how it was intended for kids to work with it, and that's considering I have played the very first non-Harry Potter LEGO creator as a child. But then again, I don't remember what were the differences now. But this whole game is built from the logic of a software toolset, not a creativity package. You first have to select the action that you want to do and then choose the object to which you apply that action, be it move, rotate, or play some sort of animation. And that's not how the logic goes when you build Legos. You first take a piece in your hands and then you decide what to do with it. So the software approach makes the process of utilizing your creativity very complicated, be it in the overworld mode where you work with pre-built models, or the build mode where you create your own model to use. Then there's all these advanced actions that you have to do, like hold Ctrl to move objects up and down, hold Alt to make sure that an object is not selected as part of the group, with no alternative ways to try and do those things with just the mouse. All this makes the process of doing anything feel really complex and cumbersome. And in the end, after you finish building, what can you do with these sets, these environments, how can you play? Well, you can't form your own dioramas like you would in a real LEGO set. You can't make figures sit or stand in a certain way. You can only place them in the world and press play. And then all the minifigures will just randomly go around the place. If you want, you can make them cast spells or do certain animations, but that's about it. You can also go in a special camera mode and take control of any minifigure, but this doesn't really allow you to do anything more than what I've already said. and the controls are too sluggish and unresponsive. Even flying on a broom is just very slow. There is a special challenge section, but these challenges are really just tutorials that teach you how to utilize the whole complex interface of the game. There are aspects I haven't mentioned, like you being able to build your own Hogwarts students that are then sorted into houses, among some other things, but what's the point if you still can't really do anything interesting or creative through them? This is why, if you open up the scores for the design category, I will assign a 3 to LEGO creator Harry Potter. The whole concept of building up your own Hogwarts and playing around it is very compelling, but the implementation of it all leaves much to be desired. The interface is very complex and cumbersome, and not only once you get the hang of it there is not much you can do with what you've built, you are limited in how and what you can build anyway. Very disappointing. Let's go to our next category now, context. This category has a weight of 1 because it is about things that enhance the experience but don't necessarily define it, player stories, motivation, world, etc. There is not much we can talk about when it comes to the context of this game. Being a sandbox, it really should be about you creating your own stories within the world of Harry Potter, but given all the limitations and lack of options, you can't really. The rest, well, it's the world of Harry Potter, though the game doesn't really try to explain anything, so you really have to know the world beforehand, and the challenges do provide some cutscenes and scenarios, but it is really just random stuff at the end of the day. This is why LEGO creator Harry Potter gets assigned a 3 for context. There is nothing much beyond the hey, it's a LEGO game within the Harry Potter universe setup, and no player stories that can be generated out of that. Time to talk about aesthetics. This category also has a weight of 1 because it too is about things that enhance the experience but don't necessarily define it. Visual style, music, and so on. Again, there is not much we can discuss. The blocky LEGO aesthetic is timeless in a way, so it's nice to look at. The music is also nice, sound effects are fine enough, the voice acting of the wizard assistant is cheesy but enjoyable.
Click on Scabbers when you find him.
The UI though looks very cluttered and difficult to understand. And there is a big problem with performance. Even on modern PCs, as you start putting more and more objects, the game just starts lagging quite a lot. And this makes you not want to put a lot of things in the world, which goes against the whole concept of the game. So if we open up the scores for aesthetics, I will assign a 7. It looks nice enough, however the performance issues really bog down the experience from both gameplay and aesthetic perspectives. Time to talk about Cohesion. The weight of this category is 2 because it is about how well all the game's elements form a cohesive, holistic experience. And we'll be really quick here as well. LEGO creator Harry Potter gets assigned a 4. There are quite a number of questionable things that I have mentioned that don't really represent the experience of building actual LEGO sets, and that affects this category. Let's move on quickly to the last category, emotions. Explaining what this category is will take more time than explaining my score. This is the most subjective category of the scoring system with the second biggest weight, 3, because ultimately regardless of what the game is or does, your emotional reaction to it is very important. And my emotional reaction was consistent disappointment and boredom. And the difficulty to get this game work didn't help, so I assign a 3. See, I told you it will be very quick. Let's wrap things up. we take all scores and their weights into account, the final Stasocritic rating for LEGO creator Harry Potter is 29. It's not a great experience, let's put it this way. I've tried to be as fair and open as possible, but you won't find much to enjoy here, besides the potential nostalgia one might have for this title because they have played it as children. So really, if you want to go through the whole process of trying to make this work on modern PCs, you should do so only if you really want to still check it out for some reason, maybe for historical purposes. But otherwise, I don't think anybody has anything to see here, even children, even back in those days.